All right, Claire. Here we are. Count 3, okay? 3.
Thank you so much. I'm going to ask you to step out at this time. Once Claire and I have had some one-on-one personal time talk, we'll call you back in and we'll talk all together if that's okay.
Yeah. I'll be right out there, okay?
Thank you. Welcome, Claire. I am Dr. Hope Chase. I want you to feel free to discuss anything you would like. Rest assured, this is a safe place. Anything you say in this office will be kept confidential.
Thank you. I don't even know where to begin.
I am here for you. I am all ears. You have my complete attention.
It's all gonna sound so crazy.
No worries.
Okay. Well, I guess I'll start at the very beginning. When I was 9 years old, I got into a car accident with my mother. We were on our way home from ballet class when a drunk driver hit us head on. My mother died on impact. The front end of the car was demolished by the pickup truck, and my legs were pinned under the dashboard for hours, and the rescue team they tried to free me. They worked so many hard hours. That accident took more than just my mother that day. It took the use of my legs. I'm paralyzed from the waist down.
I'm so sorry for your loss. It's not easy losing a parent. That certainly sounds like a very scary experience.
It was. Although it wasn't as nearly as scary as what I started to experience over the next few years. As time went on, I struggled to put that night behind me. I had to learn how to do everything, confined to a wheelchair. My dad worked a lot. I think it was his way of handling his own grief. I think it could also have been it hurt him to watch his only child stuck in a wheelchair. He often hired a babysitter to watch me in the evenings. On the days that he only worked a couple of hours, he would have me stay home alone. I would read a book and stay in bed. As soon as he came home, he would come in and see me.
Hey, Claire Bear.
Hi, Daddy.
How's my girl doing today?
I'm good. I'm almost done with this book. I think I'll have it finished by the end of the week.
That's awesome.
How was work?
Oh, it went well. Why are you keeping this doll? It's broken. It was destroyed in the accident. I can get you a new one if you want. Mom and I got that for you for your 4th birthday. It's funny, that thing was almost as tall as you were at the time.
I want to keep it because it reminds me of Mom. I know it's cracked and broken, but I am too.
Oh, Claire Bear, you're not broken. I love you. Get some sleep, okay?
I love you too, Daddy. Twinkle, twinkle, little star, how I wonder what you are above the world so high, like a diamond in the sky.
Claire, what's wrong? Are you okay? Did you have another nightmare about the accident?
I saw a shadow in my room. It looked like a person, but it wasn't. I don't know what it was.
Did you have nightmares as a child? Did you have nightmares often? Nightmares about the accident?
I did for a while after the accident, yes. The dream, it was like a movie, but it repeated itself over and over and over again. Eventually, the dream started to fade. But the last dream I remember about the accident, there was this shadow figure in the passenger side seat in the pickup truck, and it flew into the car with my mother and I on collision. It started to visit me. At first, I thought it was my mom coming to visit me. Then I realized it wasn't my mom. And then I thought it was death itself coming. I thought it was death coming to claim me, because I thought I was supposed to have died that day alongside my mom, but I lived. It watched me almost nightly.
How often would you say you saw this figure? How long did its visits last? Months? Years?
It visited me almost nightly.
Do you still see it now?
Yes. It still haunts me. Sometimes it takes on different forms.
Different forms? How do you mean?
It's tough to explain. It would change form. It would morph itself into terrifying ways. Like a shapeshifter. One night, my dad decided to have dinner with one of his work buddies after work. He had my babysitter, Missy, watch me.
Okay, it looks like you're all tucked in. I'll be in the next room over. Just yell if you need anything. Is there anything you need me to do before I leave?
Can you check my closet?
Your closet? For what? The boogeyman? Do you believe in the boogeyman? Alright, I'll take a look. See, Claire, there's nothing scary in there. See, there's no such thing as the boogeyman, Claire.
That's what you think.
Good night, Claire. Sleep well. I'll be in the next room if you need me. Oh my god, Claire. What happened, Claire? Did you roll off the bed? I heard a loud thud. Claire, talk to me.
I'm okay.
Okay, good. I just try not to fall off the bed again, okay? Sleep well. Good night.
Would you say you are awake or dreaming when you see this dark shadow figure?
I questioned it myself. And one evening, my 12th birthday, I decided I needed to know for sure. Was this indeed a creature that was haunting me? Or was it just a nightmare?
What occurred that evening?
My father and Aunt Ruth arranged a lovely little party for me earlier that day. It was such a sunny afternoon. There wasn't a cloud in the sky. My Aunt Ruth had baked me a cake, and she even put real flowers in it. She always enjoyed her afternoon tea, and I became her tea buddy. On the days that my dad would leave early for work, she would come and sit with me. She'd make us a spot of tea. I enjoyed it very much. It became our thing. Not having a mom in my life, it was pretty hard. When it came to, girly things, she definitely filled that void. I had an extra cup of tea with my cake. I was hoping that that small amount of caffeine would help me stay awake at night. I was pretty determined to confront that shadow.
Cruising in style. Thanks to great granddad. This bad boy is an antique. There's not a lot of kids that have a chair quite like this one. A special chair for a special girl. Up you go. Oh, you're getting heavy. Here's your nightgown. So, did you have a good birthday, Claire Bear?
Yes, Daddy, it was so much fun.
Thank goodness for Aunt Ruth. Honestly, if it wasn't for her, I don't know what I would do for you. She helps Daddy out a lot.
I think you do a great job, Daddy.
I love you so much, Claire Bear. So very, very much. You're getting so big. Let me take this. You must be beat. All that sunshine and fresh air. Hopefully all that tea you drank doesn't keep you up tonight.
I am tired. Good night, Daddy. Thank you for a wonderful birthday.
You're welcome. Nighty night, Claire Bear.
So you touched it?
I did.
Was it solid? What did it feel like to you?
It was solid. And it was cold as ice. It was like touching cold steel or something metal.
I see. Was this the only time you made physical contact with it?
Yes.
Do you believe that you were awake during this interaction?
Yes. I know I was awake. I had touched it.
Okay, so you touched the shadow. What happened next?
I needed more validation. I knew it was real, but I needed someone else to see it.
Who was the person you chose to see the shadow?
My babysitter, Missy.
Are you all set? Do you need anything before I head out to the kitchen to clean up after our little pizza party?
No, I'm good. Thank you for ordering the pizza. I just didn't want mac and cheese again. I had it twice this week.
You're welcome. To be honest, I love pizza, so it was definitely a treat for me too. Do you need me to go ahead and check in the closet again for the boogeyman?
Yes, please. And could you check under my bed too?
Okay, no problem. Okay, see? Boogeyman free closet over here. Looks like you're all set under there. Looks like you got a boogeyman free room. Call me if you need anything, okay? Good night.
was that?
The boogeyman.
So your babysitter, Missy, saw it?
Well, a standing sheet on its own anyways.
How did Missy handle the experience?
Oh, she was frightened. She was so frightened that she never returned after that night. My dad would ask her to come watch me, but she would have a list of excuses as to why she couldn't. I ended up staying by myself after that night when my dad would work.
Okay, so you were on your own.
I was alone. It was okay. I got used to it. My dad would come home and do his usual check-in on me before he retired to bed after work. Some nights I got lucky and the shadow figure didn't appear.
Did you try talking to your father more about this shadow you were seeing?
I did try once or twice. He would smile slightly and rub my forehead like he thought it was cute. Like it reminded him that I was still a child who was afraid of the dark. I knew he was battling his own silent battles. I didn't want to add to his plate of worry.
What do you think was going on with your father? What kind of battles?
I know he struggled over the next couple of years of the death of my mother. They were soulmates, best of friends, high school sweethearts. I was the product of that love. I know he felt guilty. He had to work a lot to support us. Before my mother died, he bought his own tattoo shop. My mother was the financial breadwinner of the family. She was a doctor. So it allowed my father the freedom to explore his dream. Once my mother was gone, my father was a widower with a handicapped child. Single parent life was hard for him. I could tell every time he looked at me, saw my wheelchair. It reminded him of my mother and the accident. Even though there was nothing he could have done to change what happened, he still blamed himself for my condition.
You said he struggled for the next couple of years. Did he seek professional help after that?
No. He didn't. One night, he didn't return home. My aunt came over the next morning and informed me they had a heart attack. Well, he was tattooing one of his clients at work, and they called 911. And he was rushed to the hospital, where he died. Broken heart syndrome. Perhaps that's a real thing. His heart couldn't bear all of the pain, and it just gave out.
Oh dear. How old were you when he passed?
I was 15 years old.
Who took care of you after he was gone?
moved in with my aunt. She took care of me until I was 18 years of age. Once I graduated high school, I moved out on my own. I found this great job at this insurance company. I still work there now. It's there that I met my husband.
After moving in with your aunt, did you still see the shadow figure?
Yes. It followed me.
What type of shadow experiences did you have there?
I can recall 2 separate events that scared me badly.
Okay. What happened? Wow. Okay. Are you certain that it wasn't something else that was above you? I only ask because you're now living with your aunt, and you're in a different place that you're unfamiliar with. Everyday objects could appear scary in the dark, not to mention our minds can create illusions during stressful times.
I know it was there. My aunt's house didn't have any ceiling light fixtures in it. Old house. All bedrooms were lamplit.
I see. Please continue. Tell me about the other event that occurred.
My aunt enjoyed going out to dinner often. She wasn't married, so her and I got to spend a lot of time together. One night we came home from dinner and I told her I just wanted to go lay down. I felt a headache coming on and all I wanted to do was lay down. I got to the bedroom and it appeared to be this human figure laying under the fitted sheet on the bed. I brought my wheelchair to a halt. I couldn't stop looking at it.
Well, Claire, you certainly without a doubt experienced some scary episodes. Is there anything else you would like to share before we have your husband join us?
Moving in with my aunt meant going to a new school. I didn't mind going and changing schools. Living in a small town like I did with my parents meant everyone knew me. I was seen as the poor little fragile girl in a wheelchair who lost her mother. New school meant I was the new kid. No one knew me, and I preferred it that way. I had full access to the library. During my study halls, I would go down there, and I decided I was going to use that time to do some research. I read every paranormal book they had. Then I jumped onto the computer and I did even more research. I wanted to try to find answers as to what this shadow thing could be.
Did you find any answers?
I realized I wasn't the only person seeing these shadow figures. Hundreds, if not thousands, of people have reported seeing them. They're referred to as shadow people. They're their own entity, a spirit or ghost-like being that's attracted to death and tragedy.
So other people have seen these shadow people?
Yes, and they've all had bad things happen to them. Some experienced the loss of a child. Others were near people dying in wars. Or they had near-death experiences themselves.
So what do you think this means?
I'm not entirely sure. I think maybe these entities are the dark shadows of death himself. A part of him. When it is our time and we don't die, these shadows come to bring us to him. We escaped death.
Interesting thought. However, that would mean death would have to be an entity rather than a normal physical aspect of life. That ghosts and entities are not figments of our imagination. Let's bring Dean back in. I'll have my secretary grab him a chair.
Okay.
Welcome, Dean. Sorry to have made you wait. I think it is beneficial for my clients to have an introductory session with me alone.
No problem. I know she's been through a lot, and I'm here to support her in any way I can.
That's excellent to hear. Support is what Claire needs. Okay, with that being said, let's get into it. Claire, you undoubtedly have been through an awful lot. First, the death of your mother, and the loss of the use of your legs. Those two alone are life-altering. Not to mention, you were only a child trying to process these new ways of living. Your father, dealing with the pressure to provide for you after the death of his wife, was also a lot for him as well. You seem to have definitely been aware of his personal trials, making it something you also dealt with. His absence during his work hours left you alone a lot, dealing with your own demons, your struggles. Sometimes our personal struggles take form. A stressful, worrisome mind can manifest into horrifying ways. Seeing them as a menacing physical entity, when really they are just fragments of fears that live inside us. Sometimes fears can become so extreme, persistent, and focused that they develop into phobias. Phobias, which are strong and irrational. Fear, which becomes persistent and debilitating.
So what you're saying is the shadow I've been seeing isn't a physical entity, but a projection of my emotions?
Exactly. You are a child dealing with some big emotions. Fear. The fear of not knowing what the future would be like. The sadness of losing your mother, and then later your father. Guilt. The feeling of being a burden to your father. Feeling broken, not whole, without the use of your legs. Your mind was struggling to deal with all these emotions, so therefore it created this physical entity that haunted you the way that your emotions did.
So, is this a type of syndrome she has?
Yes, it has a name. PTSD, Post-Traumatic Stress Disorder. You've mentioned during your research that other people have also seen these shadows, and they too have experienced losses and near-death experiences. A surviving soldier who had fought in the war while others were dying around him is enough cause for him to feel sadness and guilt that he will have to deal with.
So the shadow figure isn't real. My mind created it?
Yes, that's right, which is why the shadow followed you to your aunt's house and still haunts you on occasion. Those emotions are still lingering, which is what we will work on in our future sessions together. At least now I have a better understanding of what we are dealing with and know how to help you. I think this was a great first session.
Is there anything else I can do to help her on her journey of overcoming these emotions?
Keep supporting her and be patient.
Okay, I can do that. Thank you, Dr. Chase.
It was very nice meeting both of you. Claire, how does bi-weekly session work for you?
It works.
Great. Stop at my secretary's desk and have her schedule our next session.
Thank you. Will do. How's Adriana? Did she go straight to bed?
Well, not at first. We had to get a cup of water. Then we had to read Mr. Biggles Did It Again. Thankfully, it's only 10 pages long. Then we had to find Mr. Bugs. He's playing hide and go seek.
Where was he?
We found him in the top drawer.
How funny. She takes that thing everywhere with her. You know what? I did tell her to put her socks away in the top drawer this morning. She must have left them in the drawer.
It would appear so. How are you feeling? Are you okay? You had a long day.
It was a long day. It was a really long day. But I'm okay though.
Do you think Dr. Chase can help you?
I think so. It really hurt what she said towards the end of the session. To me, this shadow figure has always been very real.
Well, I actually think what she said made a lot of sense. I mean, you've been through a lot. And you were just a child. Besides, the boogeyman is a common thing for children. You most likely blended the two.
Yeah, maybe.
I love you, babe. I want you to get better.
I love you too, Dean. I want to be better.
Good night, babe.
Good night.
Mommy? I'm scared. There's a monster in my